We're here, and now we're in position. And I'm pinching his core with my legs. And now I finish. So I've done this variation before, but I liked some of the details, and I've got to give credit to Master Rickson Gracie for kind of clarifying this. And I think you're going to love it. It's got some nuances to it, so we're going to pick those nuances apart. But again, a really nice high percentage finish, and it comes through pretty practical setup. And the setup is you've got your opponent in the guard, and either they're playing forward or I use my closed guard and pulled, and they plant their arms here up by my head. In that same move, I'm gonna swing my underhook underneath their arm, and I'm gonna collect the forearm and bring it up on top of my shoulder like I'm kind of answering the phone with my shoulder. This is not a grip. It's a forearm catch. And it makes you want to gable grip and kind of hold it, but that's not the idea. So as I come around and I grab this grip, this first phase we're going to get into is understanding that if I don't bring my shoulder up and catch that with my ear and bring this around, this individual simply just has to drop their elbow down and slide out, and they're out. It's easily defeated if you're not doing the technique quite right. But when we come up and we catch this with our ear, go ahead and swing it out now. It's almost impossible for him to get out. The angle is such that I'm pulling his elbow this direction. So it's not really about just trying to be a show off and show a magic trick and somehow prove to this strong individual, I can catch you and pinch your hand against my ear and you're never gonna be able to pull that out. But it is actually kind of tricky for them to pull it out. So go ahead and try to pull it out. It's not that easy. And the reason behind that is because we've got this pinch point between the shoulder, the chest, the forearm, and my head. And it's kind of cranking it into a weird position. So we're gonna stack this up, but this first phase that we're gonna do is the setup. The person is just in a nice regular guard. I bring them forward. I collect the arm with an underhook. It's coming around this way, and I'm raising my shoulder up, and I'm pinching with my head, and I'm catching this right here. This hand needs to be thinking about grabbing the elbow or just superior to the elbow. Not really behind the tricep, which I'm going to explain in a little bit. More on the elbow itself. And we're going to be pulling this here. This arm too is not a short arm. It's coming all the way over. You don't have to grab your own material, but it is. It's actually coming all the way over. And it'll make sense in a minute. So again, one more time, this is the first step. We're here, we're messing around, I pull them in, I bring this over, and I grab the elbow. And this is where we're gonna stay at the moment. Questions? Give it a try. 1, 2, 3. Warm up there on the first part of the movement. The second part of the movement is the finish, and then there are gonna be some details of the finish. So if you're struggling with it, we can probably help you out there. So again, getting them to come forward. They could come forward because they're just trying to choke me or attack me. And in that case, they put their hands on your chest. You can just kind of shoot them up. But the goal is to get this kind of move right here. All the way over catching. And then to catch the elbow. But using those legs really helps. Pull them forward. They're already here. I'm gonna underhook and curve all the way around and answer the phone. Notice how I'm starting to turn already? This foot needs to go onto his hip. We're gonna talk about tightness of the move in just a minute. But just for the sake of the technique of the steps, I'm gonna be a little loose so you can see me exaggerate. Foot goes on the hip. You would think this knee wants to go on the shoulder, but that's not so much. We're not attacking the shoulder, we're attacking the elbow. So really, the right foot is gonna be counter pinching while the left knee is on their rib cage and back. It's this grab right here on the elbow. As I start to turn, this gets in the way. The elbow straight down is gonna prevent you from finishing this move. We actually need to splay the elbow out and then do a curl, which is why we do all of our sideways shrimps. So you've got a nice oblique crunch, but it's pulling this down while we crunch up to finish the elbow break. The elbow crush, it's called. One more time. So I bring him forward, I catch with my head, get my foot on the hip. You might have noticed I can use the floor to get my hip out a little bit. Foot on the hip, knee on the back, reach over, grab the elbow. If I keep this elbow straight, I'm gonna defeat myself. I'm creating a frame on the bridge. I need that out of there. Cool? Give it a try. 1, 2, 3. So if I were to bring this person forward and just do a sloppy overreach, shrimp out, and I have their forearm really high here, then my backstop is not going to be on his elbow, it's going to be up here on his tricep. And now I'm at a loss on space and leverage to try to get, see, so I feel like I'm really having to do a crunch and it's just not working. But I think the adjustment is this, I'm too deep. I need to back out just a little bit, grab the elbow joint, rather. And now it takes very little crunch force and pull to finish it. So it's crazy that 2 inches can make such a big difference, but you know, choking up on that arm to try to finish it is defeating the purpose a little bit. So we pull them in, we come around. This deep catch is okay, because we're trying to catch it, but we're not staying there very long. Now I slide down into position. I really just want this wrist, radial ulna and wrist right here, as I catch the elbow joint. Now I splay this elbow, and it doesn't take much at all to finish it, the joint crush. Now let's talk about tightness, because there's lots of room for escape if we give too much room here. So when we come in here and he plants a hand, this is his first escape. So as I start to do the underhook, if he's on his game, he's already in the elbow, so it's one of these elbow down, palm up extractions. So we're here, I start to do the underhook, and before I can even catch it, it's out. So that's gonna be a defense we gotta watch. So don't be afraid when we're doing this move that when we come here, it's this and that. Remember, I'm not opposed to catch fast. That's a little bit different than physicality. There are times where you punch it. And this may be one of those times. Catch fast, finish slow. So we're here, and now we're in position, right? He didn't have any time to extract this before I backstopped and pinched this top arm. Don't forget, this knee here is not a shoulder. There is a shoulder submission where we use this whole leg up here on the arm, but this isn't it. This is on his body, and I'm pinching his core with my legs. And now I finish. The more I isolate the shoulder joint, the elbow, and the wrist, the faster the submission is gonna come on. So I'm gonna slow it back down again just for the concept of tightness. But this is what I want you to work on in this next practice drill. We're gonna pull him forward without loosening the knees. I'm gonna underhook and grab, and now begin to extend without loosening the knees. Should still feel a constant pressure with my knees. Otherwise I lose my guard. He's out. Now I'm still pinching with my knees as I slide this up here. So now he's sandwiched between my bottom leg and my top leg. He should probably have felt minimal decrease. Now I grab the elbow, I keep sliding, splay the elbow, finish the arm.